you guys exactly how I went from making 600 bucks a month to making 7K in just over 90 days. I'm gonna break it down, it's super easy, and I hope this video helps a lot to anyone out there that wants to do something similar. So, I mean, I guess it started back in 2020 COVID. I started flipping gaming PCs, and the way I did this was literally by buying old office PCs on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and then just reselling them as gaming computers. So look, like this one up here, I would just buy that and simply add a graphics card in there so they could actually play games, and add a power supply, sometimes an extra stick of RAM, and then literally sell it on as a gaming PC. So these are a couple of examples, kept the shell, and we just sell them as gaming PCs. The reason why I did that is because back in COVID, you'll probably remember, everybody was just sat in their house all day, doing nothing. Besides, some people working at home, some people were just at school like myself. So yeah, that just drove the demand for gaming up because nobody could leave, nobody was doing anything. So everybody was gaming or watching Netflix. So yeah, I made a decent amount of money from it, nothing crazy. We're talking like £2,000 profit. And as a 15-year-old, I mean, I guess it was good. I was decently happy. It just meant I could buy more VC, but apart from that, yeah. And then directly after COVID finished now, so we're talking like early 21, early 22, I got into streetwear fashion and I started up reselling. This was, pretty bog standard, buying big release sneakers on drop day, or trying to, and then listing them at a marked up price on Facebook Marketplace, Snapchat, IG, and different cook groups. And this snapshot is just like my old Instagram page that I was trying to sell shoes off. I thought it looked pretty good with this, with the green background. I bought one of those like fake artificial grass patches and I would take all my pictures on it. So I thought, it was pretty neat at the time. And to be honest, I didn't make the most money from this. Looking back, the business model took a lot of time. That was the one thing that used to kind of annoy me. It took a lot of time, but that was all right. But I would get beat to drops by bots. If you know, you know. And then I found myself more than a few times limited to how much shoes I could actually buy because of that bread I had at the time. So when I turned 16 now, I got a job at Waitrose as a means of getting more capital so then I could properly do reselling on a big scale like some of the big guys in the space at the time. And then once I did that, I saved up a little bit, I invested in a bot, and soon after, like a week, 2 weeks, I got my access revoked. So now again, I've spent all my money on this bot. I had no money. I couldn't even buy shoes because I had spent literally everything I had at the time on the bot. And then I just came to the conclusion that to be a big reseller, you need a lot of cash, which was probably just a skill issue, if I'm being honest. But yeah, fast forward a little bit now, I got sick of working at Waitrose. I wanted to go back to trying to make money online. This is when I first tried day trading. So I started with Forex trading and yeah, I mean, I literally just did Forex trading, to be honest, or I tried to at least. And then a little bit later, maybe 2-3 months later, I did organic dropshipping. And yeah, that was fun. I kept getting shadow banned on Instagram, so all of my pages, the videos would get like 1 view, 2 views, 10 views max. And then it just came to the point where I couldn't keep testing different products and different video formats, hoping that it would go viral because I didn't really know that it could work. Like I'd seen the big guys doing it, but I hadn't seen someone like in my proximity actually achieve it. So I kind of stuck with it for about 3 months. Over that time, tried 10-ish different products. I don't know if you guys remember like those pocket fans. How do I describe it? Like those small pocket fans, when it was hot in the summer. I think around that time, England went to 40 degrees and I tried to sell it then and my page just got shadow banned. So yeah, I didn't have money for ads, so I didn't bother with that. But yeah, so now I'm in college now, I'm 18. I still haven't been able to achieve that lifestyle that I kept seeing online. So what did I do? I gave the online game another shot. And at the time I was in college, I had come back home and I was just watching a podcast I think it was a Brett Malinowski podcast. And then, yeah, just literally from that, came back off, I refreshed, and I saw a video of my now mentor talking about this opportunity called appointment setting. And as these gurus do that you see online all the time, they make it seem super easy. And for some reason, despite the dropshipping, the day trading, the reselling, I decided to actually believe him, and I just went in. So fast forward a little bit now, I'm appointment setting, I joined his coaching program. It was exactly 11 days after I paid for his coaching program, which was a lot of money to me at the time. I landed an offer on a trading offer, but there was a caveat. It wasn't like the normal DM setting that you'd see everywhere. You probably heard people talk about DM setting. I was actually dialing up leads. So I was an SDR, which essentially meant that I was calling up people and setting appointments for them. And to be honest, back then I didn't think too much of it. And I backed myself to be able to, have conversations. But hey, was I wrong? So let me just kind of break it down for you. Essentially, how it works is you'll see these people opt in for different coaching programs and like those different courses online. You know the ones where it says like DM me the word fit, or DM me the word learn, or DM one-to-one, and I'll see if I can help, that type of thing. This is what we're talking about. So then you probably like fill out a form and enter your number. That's where I came in. Yeah, I would call up these people and make sure that they could afford the program, because the majority of these programs were selling some sort of one-to-one, some sort of coaching, just any sort of like, will help you achieve this result. Yeah. And in the case that I was at, it was 4,500. Some of them go up to like 15, 20K. But for this particular offer, it was 4,500. So if they have the money, I'll put them in to a Zoom call or a Google Meet with a closer. And if the closer closes the deal, then I would get an industry standard of about 5%. So that from that sale, let's just say I set someone for 4,500, or I set someone for the closer and the closer closes them now, I would make $225. So that's just like about £180. So yeah, I mean, let's just say you're booking in 10 to 20 appointments a day. And for example, because closers don't close everything, let's say 5 of them close, you've made over 1K in that one day. So you can kind of see how it's easy to make money with this. The closer job, on the other hand, is a bit more difficult because look, ordinarily, nobody's gonna be paying 5K from a 15-minute conversation with myself and then jumping on the Zoom call and saying, yeah, here's my credit card, let's do this. They are, more often than not, what you'll find is they're gonna have objections, because think about it, let's just say I said to you, yeah, come pay me 5K. You're not just gonna hand it over, you're gonna tell me X, Y, Z is the problem. So it's the closer's job to actually get them over the line and guide them into making an educated decision into purchasing either that course, that mentorship, that retreat, or whatever it is that we're selling. Because the job is a little bit harder and less straightforward than, dialing someone up, speaking to them for 15 minutes, closers will get paid anywhere from like 10 and 20%. So out of that 4,500, that closer would make $450, or maybe even 900, depending on what their commission structure is. So yeah, I mean, this was me you can just see my shit in my room. But yeah, I don't know why, I was looking at this picture, I saw it on my camera roll. I finished work at 4 p.m, yet I started dialing at 1 a.m. Like, bro, I was making it more difficult for myself. But yeah, I finished at 4, I didn't get a single booking on that day. But I was trying to change my life, and I had seen people around me that had already done what I wanted to do. So for me, it was like a matter of time. I knew that this was gonna work. It was just a matter of when, as opposed to like if. So yeah, like honestly speaking, as you can probably tell, I'm someone that likes to conversate. I can maintain a conversation, I would say. But the skill of actually leading them and directing them through a conversation isn't something that I had come across yet. So for me, it was like a big learning curve. And to be honest, it was hard. But looking back from when I first started, all I needed to do was be more intentional instead of looking for a way out, looking for an excuse and that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, look, again, as I said, it was a unique experience. We pretty much said all of this. But yeah, I had a key thing was for me why I stuck with it and why I didn't like quit was because I had seen people in that same mentorship, in that same group that I had joined, achieving the result that I wanted. Like I had friends in there that were making 5K, 7K, 10K at the month. Sorry, during that month. And it's like, cool, if they've been able to do it, what is different between me and them, apart from them having more time? Do you get me? Like, we're all the same age, so it just means, obviously, it's a skill issue. I just need to get better at this shit. So, yeah, I mean, look, another night. This was basically what my days looked like. I was just sat there with my laptop, tracking. You can see in this image here, I'm just tracking like how many DAOs I've actually done. I've done 75 DAOs at this time, and the 75th guy was a booking. So, yeah, I said if this guy doesn't close with all the notes I provided and great objection handling, then at least I know I did enough. And it's so funny because I remember waking up the next day and that guy did not close. But it's all good. It's all good. I was shit at the time. So it's like, I knew, I mean, that's what I've come to understand now. Whereas back then, I started to blame everything on the offer. I thought that, yeah, the leads were shit. The closes were shit, so-and-so. But I had a friend on that offer that had literally made 6K that month. So obviously, as stupid as it sounds, back then when I was blaming everyone, I knew it was me. I just wasn't good enough at that time. So yeah, at that time I began to look for another offer in my mind, a better opportunity. And eventually, after a month of slogging away on that offer, the trading offer, I decided to leave. But before I left, the operator felt really bad for me because he saw that I was like hitting up people, I was booking in calls, and I wasn't getting any closes. So he gave me a $500 bonus. And for me, that was my first real taste of online money. So shout out to boy Boris. But yeah, I mean, I left that offer, I joined another one, and I did that same process of leaving and joining about 3 different times, and in that time, making a grand total of £1,500, which, if that was over the space of 2 to 3 months, which it was, that is pretty shit compared to like what other people were doing in the space. But for me, I was like, okay, cool, I've made some money, but you know, not really what I want to make. I need to kind of make a change. I need to do something different. So what happened is 3 months down the line, I rejoined the initial offer that I was on. And the operator surprisingly actually let me back on the team because he saw that my journey had been like pretty shitty since then. And I think he just felt bad for me and said, yeah, fuck it, jump back on. And the month I rejoined, I made 5.5K, which is why I was like just super, super happy, like mad happy. And to celebrate, that month, my mentor actually flew me out to his like personal team retreat, which was in Montenegro. That was super fun. A lot of memories from that. But yeah, that was super good. So yeah, a couple of pictures, we were playing ball. As you can see, I was in my knee brace at the time. I had meniscus surgery. So yeah, my mum wasn't too happy and my dad wasn't too happy when I told them I was going to Montenegro because I literally just come out of the operation like 3 weeks before. But F it, man, we're up. So yeah, I guess you're probably thinking like, Clay, what changed? What did he actually do? Because the trading offer didn't hit a crazy record high month. And the team was virtually the same, except I had been added. So in theory, there should be less money to make. And I had 3 months of extra experience compared to when I first started, but I still, wasn't making good money. So, I mean, what was it? What was it, Clay? You may ask. To put it simply, it was just my attitude towards making money. This was the game changer. And you'll find your attitude and your mentality and the way you think about things genuinely is everything in this whole space. Yeah, I stopped looking through the scarcity lens of like, I need to make money so I can pay for X. At the time, it was like, so I can pay my car insurance. And instead, I started asking myself, why am I not making the money? Yeah, which only came down to one thing, and it was me. Because as I told you at the start of this video, there were people on that same offer that were making 5, 6K a month, yet I wasn't making any money. So from there, I actually changed. I asked my sales manager at the time to start running practice calls so I could, like daily practice calls so I could get constant feedback. And a big thing I did as well was actually listen to my own calls. So I could like identify where I lost each lead. And then, yeah, I just looked at the inputs and realized that, you know what, I was doing the bare minimum. I told you that I was doing 75 DAOs. And what you'll find is 75 DAOs ain't going to get you shit. Yeah, that's the reality of it. You have to be putting in more than the bare minimum. If you're doing the bare minimum, you're going to get the bare minimum back. And that's exactly what I got. And it was evident with what I was actually making at the time. So volume is a big thing because in this space, you have a lot of free reign to kind of just go and do what you want. So the person that puts in the most work, the person that does all the inputs will get the biggest result back if they're being properly intentional with it, which at that time I wasn't. But when I realized this, that's when you made the change. So my whole attitude in a way shifted from I need to desperately make money to how do I become so insanely good that it's a given that I make money. That was all it was. Genuinely speaking, that was all it was. Because once you become the man who makes the money, like i.e., once you have the skills the man who makes the money has, it becomes inevitable that you're gonna make the money as well. If I was so good when I first started, yeah, if I was as good as I am now when I first started, I would have made a lot more money. Yeah, you can blame it on external things. You can say your clothes are shit. You can say that the leads are shit and whatever. But if you're not good first, what result do you expect? I mean, in a way, the key takeaway for me was accepting that, you know what, I'm not great yet, but I can be. So I needed to stop thinking that I deserved more than where I'm like currently at and actually do the work to become great. And all I had to do was just literally actively improve every single day. And this is what I see a lot of sales reps now get wrong. They're not focused on actively improving, or they say they're trying to actively improve, but they're not doing the things that you actually need to do. So, yeah, instead of thinking that you're working to get better, you're not actually doing the actionables that will get you there. And that's something that I kind of did a little bit. So a super easy thing that I did is when I was listening back to my calls, was actually writing down 3 things I did well, 3 things I did bad, and then keeping that on a physical piece of paper on my desk every single time that I started dialing. So I could actively see like what was going wrong and what was going bad. So when I'm making those calls, I was working to include the good stuff and remove the bad stuff. And because it was written down in physical for me, I could see it all the time. Every time I'm speaking to someone, I can see it. That's called pushing the needle forward. And look, that's why I say like making money online genuinely isn't difficult. There's no hidden secret. You just have to be willing to learn and put in the work, because from there it's inevitable. I see so many people come into the space, don't make any money, F off back to whatever they were doing. And the reason that happens is because you're not being intentional with this. You're not actually putting in the work. You say that you're working, you say that you're doing X, Y, Z, but you're not. And it reflects in how much money you make. So it's not just me. I've been able to help reps for a while now make the money that they want to make. Yeah. And it's just not me. Yeah. It's not only me that's been able to do this. There's a bunch of people out there that have been able to do it. So I guess in a way, I tried drop shipping, I tried reselling, tried day trading. And to be honest, out of all of those things, this is the only thing where I can say confidently, yeah, I believe in this. This is the thing that's going to change my life. This is the thing that's going to change the trajectory. Because all you want to do when you first start out trying to make money online is make that 5K. And it genuinely is not difficult. That's the thing. From setting, you can go into closing. From closing, you can go into sales management. From sales management, you can F off and do something else, start a SaaS company. You don't even have to do sales management. You don't even have to do closing. But compared to everything else that I've tried, at least for me, it didn't work. And it's not to say that, I just had a given or God-given talent for setting, because setting is not actually difficult. I just knew how to communicate and I did it. And that's pretty much all it is. So if you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to stick with something and not just F off after a week because it didn't work out for you, and you're actually going to be intentional, you're actually going to try to improve, then you're going to get the result that you want. It's as simple as that. So look, if you do want to start this up, you've heard about appointment setting before, feel free to give me a shout. I'll give you whatever kind of advice I can. I hope this video was helpful. And yeah, just shoot me a text on Instagram. I'll tell you everything that I know and what's worked for me. And I'm happy to give out any type of advice, if I can actually speak. So yeah, anyone can literally do it. It's probably the easiest hustle that's out there right now. And I think everyone should just genuinely have that feeling of you're just walking down the street, you're just chilling with your friends and you'll see money coming in because of an appointment that you set last night. It's a great feeling and it adds up over time. So if you keep putting in the work, you keep grinding, you're gonna make a good amount of money. And then from there, you can go and do bigger and better things. So yeah, peace.